Hi everyone, this video is going to be on your fret hand. Your fret hand is going to be your non-dominant hand, so that means it's going to be the hand that you don't use a pencil with. A lot of players think that that's a little bit on the backward side because this hand's actually going to do sometimes more work than the hand that you use a pencil with your dominant hand. Okay, so while we put our hands on the frets here, I'm going to go through and just kind of demonstrate a simple melody. I'm going to play a C major scale. Notice I am in the same position that we already talked about, a good cradle position. My hand's going to be right where the neck and the body connect, and I've got a good posture, and I'm going to have a good path coming down. So C major scale, I'll play it for you first, and then we'll kind of break it down a little bit with what my non-dominant hand is doing. So here's C major scale. And then back down. So a couple key points that I'm going to break down here is, first one is our thumb is going to go behind our ukulele. And I like to describe this as an anchor point, okay? Or for those who are sport people, kind of like basketball, when you have a pivot foot, you're going to lock down that thumb, and you're going to be able to smooth and rotate it a little bit, but you're just going to use it as, I describe it as an anchor. Okay, so it's just kind of back there. Typically, you're not going to be straight across with your thumb. It's going to be in a slight diagonal motion going up, but we want to try our best to avoid showing the thumb on the top. Okay, when we get to chords, sometimes our thumb will come over a little bit. That's in a different kind of position. But when we're plucking a melody, we just want a nice thumb in the back. So you want to always hide your thumb. Okay, and then on the front side, we have our frets, and each fret, I'm going to call this fret number 0. Okay, so this is the A string all by itself. Okay, if I'm going to play maybe a B note, and a B note's going to be on fret number 2, I'm going to count it fret number 1 and fret number 2. Okay, now notice my thumb's back there. Okay, it's a good anchor. Okay, it's going in a slightly upward angle. Okay, and I'm really just pressing, I'm pushing, all right, kind of like a crab claw there. All right, so again, we're right here. Okay, you have to have a good squeeze. You don't have to have your first finger there if you don't want to, but if you add on this finger, it's just going to add as a kind of support for the finger that we want to hear the sound. Okay, now notice these gold lines going up and down, they are called frets. Okay, so I'm in fret number 1 here. I'm not touching the gold line. I'm going to be right on the other side of it. Okay, and right here. And once I have a really good squeeze, I'm just going to pluck. And I got a good pitch. Okay, if I can add a finger, it's going to raise the pitch a little bit, raise the sound a little bit, take it away, it goes back down. Okay, so that's really simple. And notice again, that thumb is back there. If we don't have our thumb here, we can still do it. It just makes things a little bit more challenging. And the big thing you want to watch is on the other side. You can see I have lines on my fingers. Those lines on my fingers is showing me that I am squeezing probably hard enough. If I don't have those lines, I'm not squeezing hard enough. That's a really, really common mistake with beginner ukulele players. They don't squeeze hard enough. Okay? So while we play, we have to, I always remind my students, give it a good squeeze. Okay? If you don't have a good squeeze, it's going to sound like this. Okay, that's not a good squeeze if I squeeze it. Okay, and again, I'll have those lines on my fingers. Okay, all right. A few other mistakes I see a lot is some students won't play here. They will play on the fret, and it'll sound like this. Kind of makes it sound, but it's a very dull and a very muffled sound. So we want to make sure that we leave just a small little space where the fret is in your finger. Okay, right there, right there. That's going to be our biggest challenge, is making sure we're right on this side of the fret. Okay, so again, here's our major scale that I started with. Okay, so that is your technique for your fret hand. Hide the thumb, give it a good squeeze like a crab claw, should have the lines on your fingers, and make sure you are on the correct side of the fret. Good luck.